Hello and welcome to the Scatterable channel, and today I want to cover the best deals you can get pre-Black Friday. So yes, there are indeed deals happening right now on graphics cards especially, but also processors, motherboards, SSDs, RAM kits, and all of that, because I know there's quite a few of you who are watching this video who may not want to wait till Black Friday, because from what I've experienced in the past, there are some really awesome deals, but they go out of stock like that. And I am happy to confirm, like I said, there are some good deals happening right now, especially for graphics cards. So if you are ready to pull the trigger on one of those deals, I'm going to be discussing those in this video. So I'm going to be starting with Intel Arc graphics cards and then moving to Radeon graphics cards and then finishing out with Nvidia graphics cards. Now again, all of this will be linked in the description down below if you want to check out any of those deals. But even come the day of Black Friday, I'll go ahead and update that description with a bunch of other graphics card deals happening that day of, just so you guys don't miss out. But once again, you could run the risk of having those deals potentially go out of stock like that, because everyone's going to be looking on that day. So with all that said, let's get into the deals. So I found the majority of these deals are happening right now on Newegg. That's why I'm going to be looking at them for the majority of this video. But before we get into the action, I do want to answer a really commonly asked question. A lot of you guys are going to ask, should I wait for the next generation of graphics cards coming out in January? And my honest answer is, unless you're intentionally wanting that top of the line RTX 5090, I don't think it's worth waiting. I have a gut feeling that this next generation of graphics cards is going to be considerably more expensive than what we all expect, because the industry leaders right now, Nvidia, are riding their stock at near all-time high prices due to the AI craze, and I have a gut feeling that they're gonna really overprice their graphics cards when they announce them in January. And we've seen them do this before. If you guys remember the launch of the RTX 3090 Ti, that graphics card retailed for $2,000 at launch, and the reason why Nvidia got away with that was because crypto mining was so huge back in 2021 when it released. And I think with AI on the horizon, that being the primary moneymaker for Nvidia, they're going to price the RTX 5090 obscenely high, which is going to trickle down to the rest of their graphics card lineup. And what that means for AMD is that they're going to look at that pricing and they're like, well, if Nvidia is getting away with it, we'll follow them too, but at a slight discount. And it's not going to be the best. The only caveat to all this is Intel Battlemage. I think they won't follow any trends, but they're releasing their graphics cards in December. We don't know much about them though, but what we do know is that there are a bunch of graphics cards on a nice discount right now, and I will be covering those in this video. So back to this. Starting with Intel Arc graphics cards. There's not much happening right now for the A750 and the A580, but you can get an A770. Yes, sir, an A770 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM for $230. I distinctly remember last year, you could get the A770 for $250 on Black Friday. So this is an all-time low price. And for this Acer Predator Bifrost model, this is probably the best aftermarket A770 you can buy. It's better than the limited edition that I have right here in my hands. Now there's one other graphics card we're covering in this video that is this exact same price, but the reason why I kind of want to just point your attention to this one is, let's face the facts, it is the cheapest graphics card, under $300, with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Now admittedly, it's not fast enough to utilize all of that VRAM in the first place, but to that degree, again, it is $230. And seriously, these Intel Arc graphics cards have come a long way. I recently played on one in my $500 gaming PC with the A750, and really that graphics card punches above its weight category in quite a few titles. And if you still have doubts on the viability of an Intel Arc graphics card, even with Battlemage on the horizon, I recommend you take a look at Hardware Unbox's video where they test a ton of games on an Intel Arc graphics card and report how stable and reliable they are, and I think you'll be surprised by the findings. Personally, the only game that still causes issues with this graphics card is Starfield. That's it. That's it. Everything else has run fairly well on this graphics card. And again, 16 gigabytes of VRAM in an A770 for $230. At that point, I feel like the only disadvantage to this graphics card is the power draw, which you can undervolt these if you really wanted to. But this is such a special graphics card for $230. I gotta give it the nod. I'd say sound the alarm if you want an A770, if you want to go bold, if you want to go risky with a graphics card choice that could pay off in the long run, because there's still a lot of untapped potential in these ARC graphics cards. Then here's your card, the A770 for $230. And if you're wondering what kind of PC build would be really good for this $230 A770, well, if we browse over here to pcbuilds.gg, the ones I've picked out that I think you should look at to throw this thing in, if you really want to be ambitious, my $600 gaming PC, because if we look, it's got a Ryzen 5 5600 that won't bottleneck one of these, so you can definitely throw this in here, but you will need a 650 watt power supply because this is a slightly more power hungry card than the A750. Or the other two builds you can totally throw this into would be my $700 gaming PC build. Again, same CPU, but we have that beefier power supply for this. And my $800 gaming PC, which features a CPU upgrade to the 7500F, the same 650 watt 80 plus bronze power supply, and yeah, chucking an A770 into one of these budget gaming PCs for $230, that's a hell of a deal. Now, as you saw, there's not much happening for the other graphics cards. I think they're all getting ready for Black Friday, but I do want to point out one other deal, and I know this isn't a graphics card deal, but I said there'd be other deals I cover in this video that I think are worthwhile mentioning. One of those being the Intel Core i5-14600KF. Yeah, so you can get this for $200, and that's actually a very excellent price for this kind of CPU, because if you're one of those people who are still on a 12th generation i3 or i5, but you want to step up your processor, but not spend a ton of money on one of these really expensive i7s or i9s, honestly, all you need is a 14600K. In my CPU tier list video, I rated the 13600K very highly, because that is all you need. And fortunately, the 14600K is essentially the same CPU, slightly faster, but this is at a very acceptable price, $200 on the dot. So if you wanted a really good CPU upgrade, if you're already on an Intel LGA 1700 system, honestly, from what I've seen on Newegg, disregard all the other deals and go straight for this 14600K. It's for a pretty good price. And the next best deal would also have to go to another i7 processor, that being the 14700KF. This with a $33 off promo code is gonna land you at about, I think, $315, which is not too shabby either for a 14700K. But now let's get back to graphics cards, and where I'm pulling a lot of these deals are from Newegg's Black Friday Starts Now landing page. I just go over here to GPU, video, and graphics cards, and actually, okay, Blur, we don't want to spoil these early. All right, first things first, and I promised you guys in an earlier video that this graphics card would go on a discount, and lo and behold, here it is. We can get a Radeon RX 7600 for $230. Oh, that is about $10 off my absolutely get it price. But to be fair, come Black Friday, I don't know if you're gonna find that many RX 7600s for $230 in stock. So getting this Acer Predator Bifrost model early at $230, I think is a good deal. And I mean, I gotta be objective here. The 7600 is a faster graphics card than the A770, but again, the A770 comes with double the VRAM and double the memory bus width. So, I mean, both of these graphics cards for $230 are really good deals. But if you wanted the safer option, this Acer Predator Bifrost is this is the graphics card to get for 1080p gaming. Yes, it has 8 gigabytes of VRAM with a 128-bit memory bus, but here's the thing, it's $230, and at $230 and below, that's perfectly acceptable to have that amount of VRAM. And the RX 7600, it is, I mean, at the right price, it is a good budget graphics card. And at the moment of filming this, it is at a good price. And again, this is the Acer Predator Bifrost model. It does come with an OC, an overclock, with the graphics card itself, and it looks cool. Yeah, I would pick this up. I would pick this up if you're looking for a graphics card below $300. And if you're wondering what's the most optimal PC to throw in this RX 7600 into, if we go over here to pcbuilds.gg, they're gonna be the same 3 builds that I just showed you for the ARC A770. My $600 gaming PC, my $700 gaming PC, and my $800 gaming PC. But again, keep this in mind, this has 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It's gonna be limited to 1080p gaming. So for these $800 to $600 gaming PCs, that is expected, but you're not spending too much, because again, this graphics card is on a nice discount. Now, Now, next up, from what I can tell, the 7600 XT deals have not hit yet, nor have the 7700 XT deals. But once again, check back on the description on Black Friday. I will be updating that with a bunch of new graphics card deals. But I will report there is an early RX 7800 XT deal. Check this out. So this is AMD's best graphics card basically right now from the RX 7000 series. And if you go down here, you can pick up an XFX Speedster Edition RX 7800 XT for $440. That is about $20 off my like absolutely get it price from my earlier Black Friday deals anticipation video. But getting one of these early for $440 is a safe bet. In terms of all-time low pricing, the lowest I've ever seen a 7800 XT go was $430, and this is $10 off. It could get better on Black Friday, but you're competing with a bunch of other people on that day. So I'd say if you want an early 7800 XT deal, this is a good graphics card to look at getting. And I really don't need to say any more on the 7800 XT itself. It is Radeon's best RX 7000 graphics card. It has an excellent blend of pricing, hardware, features, and most importantly of all, performance. And I mean, you are gonna be set for so long if you grab one of these graphics cards. I'm willing to put money on this thing running GTA 6 when it comes out on PC in 2027. This is a 1440p gaming behemoth, and I will say, if you want to throw this graphics card into a gaming PC, you can throw this into my $1,200 gaming PC. You're probably going to get it on a slight discount, or actually, it's going to be about the same price as this from what I have linked, but this one, yeah, it's $450. So you can throw that into my $1,200 build, or you can throw that into my $1,000 gaming PC. If you wanted a better deal on a 7700 XT, you can just slap in a 7800 XT, and the 750 watt power supply included in here will be enough. All right, next up, and this one was certainly on my radar for my first Black Friday GPU deals video. If you guessed it, it is the RX 7900 XT. This thing I said was gonna go on some gnarly discounts, and we're already seeing some. So if you don't wanna fight with everyone else on Black Friday, I will say there are some decent deals on this graphics card. Mostly this ASRock Phantom gaming model, you can get for $625. That's not too bad. That is about $25 off my like prediction price for this graphics card. And again, I don't know if it'll hit $600 on Black Friday, but if you wanted a safe bet to get something and cash in early, this graphics card for $625 is really damn good. It's the 7800 XT just with even more VRAM and even more performance, but at a whole new tier of resolution. The 7800 XT is a 1440p gaming graphics card with high frame rates. This is your best bang for your buck 4K gaming graphics card. And it's cheap enough to the point where this thing is gonna be an infinitely better value than the RTX 4070 Super for about the same price, which is crazy to say. And I've actually got a really nice tailored PC that would be really good for this graphics card specifically. It's a budget 4K gaming PC, and that is my $1,600 gaming PC build. This uses a Ryzen 7 7700, so it's gonna be just right for this graphics card, and a Radeon RX 7900 XT. As you can see, it says $650 on Amazon, but on Newegg, it is beating that. It is $625. So once again, I'll have this deal linked in the description below, along with all these other graphics card deals. Oh, but wait, there's more. There is one more Radeon deal that I definitely want to cover in this video that is worth looking into, and surprisingly, it's actually not the cheapest of its kind. So if we look here on Newegg, I am looking at the 7900 XTX. And if we look, the cheapest one you can get is $820. Now, I expect it to go lower on Black Friday, but this isn't the graphics card I want to point out. This is the graphics card I want to talk about. Specifically, this XFX Mercury Magnetic Air Radeon RX 7900 XTX. So why this graphics card for $840? Well, this graphics card wasn't introduced until mid this year, about June of 2024. And why that's significant is that this is quite a late release for the 7900 XTX. The reason being, there were rumors for a while that a Radeon RX 7950 4050 XTX was going to be a real thing and would require a lot more cooling to cool off a GPU core that would take in even more power than what a stock card already does. And XFX was preparing that with a new XFX cooler, but lo and behold, that special GPU never came out. So XFX were left with this really over-designed beefy cooler, and they're like, screw it, we're still gonna sell it with the 7900 XTX, and that's why this is here. If you look at photos, this thing is humongous. And if you look at reviews, it is by far one of the coolest and quietest of its kind. And I'd say if you're someone who wants a Sapphire Nitro Edition graphics card without paying the Sapphire Nitro Edition price, this XFX Mercury is probably gonna be the closest thing you can get to that on a discount. So it's a high quality version of this really excellent graphics card, which I would only recommend if you aren't super crazy into ray tracing, but you just want absolute beastly performance on a discount. Once again, this has 24 gigabytes of VRAM. You can't upgrade your VRAM later on in your graphics card. It's not like software. You're not gonna get updates hardware-wise for a graphics card. All the VRAM modulars are soldered onto this graphics card. You can't change it, and you're given 24 gigabytes, which is something that can't really be said for like the RTX 4080 Super, because that has a limit. That has 16 gigs, which may be fine now, but 4 or 5 years down the road, it might be asking for an upgrade, whereas this thing could still be kicking it. And this XFX edition card just sweetens the deal. I know it's not the cheapest 7900 XTX you can get right now, but at $840, that's a really, really good price for this over-engineered version of this card. So we're gonna close out the video with our Nvidia deals for Nvidia GPUs, but first I wanna show you guys 2 more other really cool deals found on Newegg that I just had to share. First of all, I don't know what got into Enermax's head, but they are like discounting a bunch of their AIOs. And I have experience with a few of these actually. I've used quite a few of their AIOs in previous PC build videos, and to see all of these on a nice discount, I'm cool with it. My favorite one though would have to be this Enermax Liquid Max 3, because it's $55, but the reason why it's that cheap is because the fans here, they're just standard, plain black fans that are designed for high static pressure to push fresh air into that radiator. They're not RGB'd, there's no fancy LCD screen on the pump. It's a very cost-effective cooler that is going to provide a lot of performance for an excellent price. So that's why I like this. I wanted to quickly show it off. In addition to some Geforce memory. This is the memory that I use a bunch in my PC builds here on PCbuilds.gg. If we check on RAM, okay, not that one. If we go to something a little more cost effective, like $1,000, and we go here to RAM, this is the exact RAM that I use. 6,000 megahertz with a cast latency of 30. Okay, it's sold out in black, but in white it is available for $82. That is the lowest I've seen this RAM kit go is 90 bucks. And for an $8 additional discount, I'm cool with that. If you wanted your DDR5 RAM kit for a new PC build around the next generation of CPUs that use DDR5 memory, this is really nice. G.Skill also have some other good memory options, but this TeamGroup kit, I'm just a really big fan of. That's why I'm including it in this video. But as promised, we've got our Nvidia GPU deals, which is only one right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I checked all the other Nvidia RTX 4000 GPUs, and this is the only good deal I found happening before Black Friday. And that is my favorite Nvidia graphics card actually, the RTX 4070 Ti Super. This you can get for $740 with a rebate. And this is probably the cheapest I've ever seen an RTX 4070 Ti Super. Back in October and back in July, right? I know back in October, this card touched $750, but not below that. So this is an all-time low price. Admittedly, you do need to print out a rebate, but for this deals video, I will be factoring that in. And this is the MSI Shadow Edition 4070 Ti Super. So it's got a nice black matte finish. It should go well with any PC build of your choice. And the reason why this is my favorite Nvidia graphics card is that it is the most well-rounded. The price isn't obscenely high. It has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, which for $750 is acceptable. Sorry, $740. And it also brings excellent ray tracing performance and some pretty nice 4K performance at that. A lot of people like to disagree with me that this isn't a 4K gaming graphics card, but you gotta remember this thing has DLSS, and at that matter, DLSS 3.0. So effectively applying DLSS makes this a 4K gaming graphics card at the end of the day. And again, I'm serious. I checked out deals for the RTX 4060, 4060 Ti, 4070, 4070 Ti, and the 4070 Super, 4080 Super. Couldn't find anything good except for this one from MSI. So I'm happy to put this in the description down below, along with all of my other deals I talked about in this video. And the PC build that would pair up best with the 4070 Ti Super is either going to have to be my $1,600 gaming PC that I covered earlier. Just go ahead and swap out the 7100 XT with the 4070 Ti Super, or my already existing $1,800 gaming PC, which already uses a 4070 Ti Super. So as you can see, the last lowest price this graphics card was at was $750, and you can now get it for $740 with a rebate form. And again, this is a deal happening right now. You're not gonna be fighting for it on the day of Black Friday, and this is a good deal for a 4070 Ti Super. So there you have it. That is my quick deals video before we go crazy on Black Friday. So again, I wanna thank you guys for making it to this point in the video, and if you did, give it a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. And with all of that said, thank you so much for watching. And this is the Scattervolt channel, signing out.